Welcome everyone. So today I'm going to be covering Quagsire and Wooper. These guys are super interesting and strong. There is a good amount of water ground types in this, unchanged typings. There's just a bunch of them, and it was hard to make it so that they are all distinct from one another, because they are so samey. So I had to really make sure that the abilities stand out and that they have some moves that the others don't get, and that their stats are different enough and all that kind of stuff. So Quagsire has really great abilities. It lost Water Absorb because the other three, so the three of the five of the water ground types have Storm Drain, which is Gastrodon, Dry Skin, which is going to be Seismitoad, and then Water Absorb, which is going to be Swampert. So Quagsire appreciates having two different abilities because otherwise it's just kind of like, oh, another water immune water ground, versus the other is like, one of them gets a boost, the other one gets health, and then the other one gets health but less, but they do get residual healing in the rain. So it's kind of like, those three are different enough. But if I gave Quagsire Water Absorb as well, it would be too much overlap. So because of that, I gave them simple. And I know that's been happening for a lot of Jodomons, but like I said, in I think it was the Sunflora video, Johto just happens to have tons of mons that fit simple really well. So I think there's about 5 simple Pokemon. There's Furret, Jumpluff, Sunflora, Quagsire, and there's going to be, I believe, one more. Look at the list. I'm pretty sure there's just one more. Yeah, just one more. One more simple Pokemon. So 5 in Johto, which is a lot, but that is the most generation. Other generations have either 0 or like maybe 1 per generation. There's none in Kanto. I believe there's probably going to be like 1, maybe 2 in Gen 3, because Gen 3 also has a lot of simple designs. And then Gen 4 has like 1, maybe 2, and that's counting Babero. And then Gen 5 has 1, probably just the 1, which is Swoobat. And then that's most likely it. Maybe Gen 6 and 7 won't have any. So it just so happens that the vast majority of the simple mons are in Johto because of the designs of Johto. And Quagsire fits simple very well, given that he's a fucking dumbass. And I love Quagsire. We all love Quagsire. So simple fits Quagsire extremely well. I don't think anybody's going to think that doesn't fit, given the fact that simple in Pokemon is supposed to mean stupid. Obviously, in my opinion, it can also mean stuff like, like simple-minded, like unaware kind of. So like it doesn't necessarily mean they're stupid, like in Sunflora's case, in Jumpluff's case, like they're kind of just happy-go-lucky, carefree Pokemon. So I think simple fits, and also their designs are pretty simple, so I think it just fits. But with Quagsire, it's like really fitting. Like that's a very fitting ability. Same logic as like Numel and Bibarel and stuff. So yeah, they have access to simple, and those are that's amazing on them. So first I'm going to talk about simple stuff, then I'm going to talk about unaware stuff. Also in terms of their stats, they're just a lot so they do have the quote-unquote lowest base stat total of the water grounds, but of course they're a level 20 evolution, and they're also the slowest of the water grounds, so of course their overall base stat total will be lower because of their lower speed. They have very solid bulk, so they have 95, 95, 95 bulk. I mean, that's very solid. In the context of this hack, having an unaware mon with stats like that and only 1 weakness in grass is very useful. A bulky water ground, it's just really solid. It can answer a lot of things. It can switch in on a lot of boosted Pokemon and kind of just sit in their face. I said I would talk about simple verse, but I guess I'm on the topic of unaware. Also, their offenses are both 85. Just to match their attacks that I put their special attack up. They don't look like they should be super strong. 85 is a respectable number. 85 is decent on its own. It's pretty solid. But then when you consider simple and the boost that you get from that, it becomes very powerful. So that's awesome. So I guess I'll talk about simple first. So simple, I'm just going to go over all your options in order. All right. So in order of when you get them in the hack. So Pooper will have Defense Curl and Work Up before Hala. So Work Up will give him +2 to both his offenses, and then Defense Curl will give him +2 defense. And the best part is you have access to dual stat priority on the special side, not the physical side, being Mud Shot and Bubble Shot. Both of those are priority moves, 45 base power. So that's awesome. With Work Up, you can get +2, and you can start getting those +2 priority dual stabs off. Later on, you get access to even better special boosting moves, but I'll get to those when I get to them. It'll take like 2 seconds. They don't have the most simple options compared to other Pokemon that get simple. They only have like a handful, which is plenty. So yeah, back on the topic of level up. So by TM and Tutor, you don't get any until you get to these TMs, which are pretty late in the game. They're like mid Ula. So they're after Totem Mimikyu. You get Calm Mind and Bulk Up. So by level up, you will get Stockpile, at level 37, and Stockpile, Swallow, and Spew Out is which comes from Spit Up, are all buffed. So Swallow is buffed in the sense that you will get. So say you click Stockpile once. With Simple, Stockpile will give you +2 to both your defenses. So you click Stockpile once, and then when you swallow, no matter what, no matter how many stockpiles you got up, you will always heal to 100% of your HP, which is really useful. Recover heals 50%. In an attack, there is no healing items. You can't use healing items in battle, so you're definitely going to want to take advantage of these healing moves, especially on a bulky Pokemon like Quagsire. So Swallow will give you full HP recovery after one single stockpile. Of course, the downside is you lose that stockpile boost, but you can always, like, for example, what you could do is you could use Stockpile, then you could use like Belch or Skull Bash or some other boosting move, and then you can swallow when it's time to sweep, once you have enough special attack boosts, and then you can start doing with Mud Shot, Bubble Shot spam, or whatever you want to do. That's awesome. So that's really cool. And then Spew Out is the same as Acid Spray. So Acid Spray is 50 base power and drops special defense by 4, which is a 2/3 drop. It sounds overpowered, -4. I know people are like, oh my god, what the hell? It's only a 2/3 drop. It's not that much stronger than -2, which is why I put it there. And then Spew Out is the same, -4 special attack, -4 special defense. However, that can go up. So the first hit is 100. So if you have one stockpile, Spew Out is 100 base power, which is really powerful. And then if you get 2 stockpiles up, after 2 stockpiles, you won't get any higher than +3 defenses. So one stockpile gives you +2. The last stockpile, I believe, will give you +1 to both. I'm pretty sure stockpile doesn't work with Simple to give you +4. I'm almost positive, but you can always Google it. I might be wrong, but I'm almost positive that stockpile will cap at +3 no matter what. The benefit of the stockpile is actually better than a lot of other boosting defensive moves, though, because stockpile has a lot of PP compared to like Amnesia, which is only 2, and like Cosmic Power and stuff, which obviously Quagsire doesn't have. But those types of moves only have 3. Calm Mind, Bulk Up have 3, but stockpile is multiple because stockpile caps at 3. So you can actually get 3 stockpile boost or 2 stockpile boost or 1 stockpile boost, and then swallow, and then cycle and rinse and repeat over and over again throughout the battle. I should probably give them Toxic, honestly. Yeah, I forgot Toxic. I have to add that. Let me do that really quickly. I did. So Toxic is no longer a TM, so Pokemon get up at level up. That makes sense, and I think Quagsire makes enough sense, and I think his playstyle kind of relies on it in a lot of cases. Not always, especially because with Simple, he's extremely powerful. But I just think it's nice to have that option to stall out Pokemon, so I'll be giving that. I don't know what level, though. It's kind of awkward, isn't it? Change that level of 45 too. I can throw it. I mean, they don't need Acid Spray if they have Spew Out, but they definitely need Haze. They don't need Body Slam. Body Slam is not that great. Put that. They don't need Body Slam. You're never going to teach that. It's just there because they had it before. It's not a good move on them. I mean, yeah, you can spread Paralysis, but there's so many more important moves that you have, and there's no movie learner, so you're going to want TMs or level up moves. All right, let me just swap Body Slam at 27 with Toxic. There we go, that's much better. So yeah, they have Toxic with that, so they can totally like stockpile, swallow, stall with Toxic, which is really awesome. And then you get really cool stuff with Simple. So you get the boosting stuff now. So the really good boosting stuff. So you have Belch. Belch is 120 base power, and now it gives you a +1 special attack boost each time you click it. So if you consume a berry for the rest of that battle, even if you switch out, so say for example your Quagsire eats a citrus berry, you switch it out, you switch it back in later in that fight, you can still use Belch, and each time you use Belch you'll get +2 special attack with Simple. So that's a 120 base power poison type move, which will give you +2 special attack each time you click it. So that's amazing. Really awesome, cool boosting option. And that's pretty early on at level 39. That's before you get Calm Mind and Bulk Up. You also have Skull Bash. Skull Bash is an awesome buffed move as well. Skull Bash gives you +1 defense on the first charge turn, and now on the second turn after you attack, it gives you +1 attack and accuracy. So you essentially get a coil boost. So after one Skull Bash, Quagsire will get +2 defense, +2 attack, and +2 accuracy. The accuracy isn't that important, but it is nice for stuff like Aqua Tail and Gunk Shot. But overall, you're using that mostly, and Stone Edge and stuff. But overall, you're really using it for the attack and defense. So that's kind of like a bulk up in a move, in a way. Like you can attack, and you actually get that earlier than you get bulk up. Bulk up will be in the mid 40s by the time you reach wherever that TM is. Well, I know where it is, but it's I believe it's after you get Torpedo Jet, and you can go back and get bulk up from Melameli Sea. So that's cool. Same with Calm Mind is in Haina Desert, so Yeah, and then Nasty Plot and Swords Dance are also around that time period. But they're all post-Wiki besides Nasty Plot, I believe. So yeah, Skull Bash is an awesome move. You can use that with or without Power Herb, but because Quagsire is bulky enough to just get that +2 defense on that first turn, you can even use Amnesia plus Skull Bash, because Amnesia, after one use with Simple, will give you +4 special defense, and obviously that makes you very tanky. And of course, you always have Recover for reliable recovery if you want to run that instead of Swallow with Stockpile. You know, Recover is also a great option. You also have Rest and Sleep Talk if you want to use that via Tutor, or rather TM. So that's really awesome. And then you just have a bunch of other stuff, but those are all your boosting options aside from Calm Mind and Bulk Up via TM, which are obviously great. Calm Mind, Bulk Up will give plus to it. Bulk Up is kind of like a making up for losing Curse, and also because like Bulk Up makes sense anyways. And then Calm Mind is because they're like goofy little simple-minded fuckers. So I think Calm Mind fits well enough. And that will give them +2 special stats versus +2 physical stats. So those are great, simple, and that can get you up to +6 because they have 3 PP. So you can easily get to +6 with those moves. So you can use like Bulk Up, Amnesia with Recover, and just get the +6 special defense, +6. Like after 4 turns, if you get, say for example, say you click a Bulk Up twice and then you click Amnesia once, you're now at +4 attack, +4 defense, and +4 special defense, and you have Recover. You can also use Skull Bash to get that in 1 turn with Power Herb if you want to use your item slot. Or, of course, like I said, you don't have to run Power Herb. You could just get that defense boost on the first turn and then use the attack on the second turn. And that is pretty powerful. It's 130 base power, so that's a pretty good move. You also have some other moves that can technically boost your stats, like Water Pledge and Water Pulse. Water Pulse has a 15% chance to boost all your stats by 1, while Water Pledge has a 25% chance to boost your special attack by 1, and with Simple, those are doubled, of course. Not the chances, but the boost. So that's really cool. That's what I did for Simple. So, because Z moves do not work with Simple, so you can't use like a boosting Z move with Simple. It doesn't work that way. So that's really cool. Other than that, you have access to amazing stuff with Unaware. So Unaware is very reliable. We all know what Quagsire does with Unaware. It sits in the face of sweepers. It sits in the face of boosting mons. It's also great for totems because you have access to Toxic and Haze and stuff and Recover. So you can really just sit there and stall out a lot of like totem battles and boss fights. Haze is also useful just for trainers that boost up. So if you have a boosting trainer that's in front of you and they're getting out of control, you can always just run Unaware. You do have access to infinite usability capsules, so you can always swap between your abilities whenever you want and take advantage of Unaware. You also have good utility with like Encore, again, Recover, Soak is pretty good. Z Soak will give you +2 special attack, which is nice. Toxic is great, obviously, it's a staple on bulkier sets. Haze, Yawn, all that's really good stuff. You also have very powerful stab moves in late game with Mud Bomb and Hydro Cannon and stuff. I'm getting a phone call. I think that means my food is here, so I will hang up and end this because I think that's about everything anyways. You have a bunch of new coverage moves as well. I'm not going to waste time covering all those. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video.